It's finally here, the latest Martin Scorsese epic tragedy. Crazy people doing crazy things. From Taxi Driver to Goodfellas to Wolf of Wall Street. A lot of his movies are about people just going down the drain and committing stupid, unimaginable things. Killers of the Flower Moon is no different. As we all know, it's based on a nonfiction book about the Osage Nation and all the murders and crimes that happened to the Osage people. It's also well known that Martin Scorsese, when he first started making the picture, I'm going to call it a picture because Martin Scorsese calls it a picture. When he started working it with Leo and Robert De Niro, who play two of the main characters, he sort of was trying to approach it the way the book went, but then he spoke with the Osage Nation and other advisors, and they sort of redid the movie to focus on Ernest Burkhart and his wife Molly, who was played by Lily Gladstone. And let me tell you, this movie it's crazy that it's almost 3.5 hours long, and I don't feel like they could have cut anything. That's how crazy good this movie is. It is a slow-rolling tragedy, and it's told from the perspective of the oppressors. So it is wild to watch because you see Ernest Burkhart, he's not the smartest man in the room. In fact, he's probably not even as smart as the room. But he slowly just becomes worse and worse over the picture, while his uncle, who's played by Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio plays Ernest. Robert De Niro plays King Hale, Bill Hale, and Bill Hale sort of runs the town. And the Osage people have gotten rich off of oil, and they basically also run the town with their money. But Bill Hale and other white people in the area, are basically taking advantage of them having all that money. And it's just wild, everything that goes down in this movie. It's so slow and methodical, but it's ramping up the murders and the crimes and just all the heinous acts that these white men are doing to the Osage people. And it's just crazy. The way Scorsese approaches it is kind of a way a journalist would approach a story, in that he does not add anything, he doesn't spell it out for you, but there are very clear and obvious things that he does throughout the movie that are like, well, these are bad guys, obviously. And if you can't understand that Bill Hale and Ernest Burkhart and other dudes in this movie are bad guys, he has one of the characters watch newsreels, because back in the day you would go to the movie theater to watch newsreels. He has Bill Hale go watch newsreels of the Tulsa race massacre. And as we all know, that was crazy, very racist, and he doesn't do the same thing, but he does, there are similarities to it. And so it's like, if you don't think these guys are bad guys after watching this movie, or you think that, oh, he's glamorizing these characters, he's not. And so you have to take it and understand that this is made to show people the horrors of history, because a lot of the movie is also about, sometimes things are lost to history, and the only way to preserve it is either through fictional films or through documentaries or through books. And sometimes, there's a saying that winners write the history, and, in America, a lot of the history books do not cover everything that the way it happened. There are they leave certain details out. So it's not lying, but it also is not telling the truth. And this is very much telling the truth. It may not have actually happened fully that way, but is the truth of the indigenous people of Americas and the way they've interacted with white people throughout history. It is very much a crazy, wild, amazingly shot, crazy acting. Lily Gladstone, she's winning the Oscar. she doesn't say much. Her character is basically built up as like, she doesn't say much, but she observes, she listens, she sees, and her eyes in this movie, Scorsese talks about her acting and through her eyes. I fully understand the way she just completely owned that role. And there's her sisters, I can't remember any of the actresses' names, but they also do a really good job of playing these different characters who are all stricken with just the life that is unfolding in this movie. It's a full-on 10 out of 10 for me. I think you should go watch it. Go watch it in the theaters, and even if you don't, if you got Apple TV or if you got a free membership waiting, go ahead and cash that in and watch Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, so that's my review.
Un esercito di prodi